I don't know how to start a video, but I'm Hootless, and this is Stardew Valley Doing It All Episode 7. And basically in this episode, we just continue cycling our crops, getting those, squared away, trying to get up to 5 gold star parsnips, and we get to level 9 fishing, and that's basically it. So we're going to talk about other things, like recently I've been watching a show on Netflix called BoJack Horseman. I'm actually almost finished with it now. Been watching it for like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks, I don't know, something like that. And I have one episode left, like half of an episode. I was actually watching it before recording this, and it's a pretty good show, as most Netflix originals are. Just sort of in general, if something has that Netflix original stamp on it, it's probably a good show and or movie. I don't think I've seen like an actually bad Netflix original. I've seen some that weren't as good as others, but for the most part they're all pretty high quality. Like, I think Stranger Things was a Netflix original. That was pretty good. Speaking of Stranger Things, it was a good premise, but I felt like the child actors couldn't really carry it. They were all pretty terrible actors. If you're being totally honest with the show, they were pretty bad. So, the show was okay, mostly because of the older actors, and I feel like, in general, an older cast would have served the premise a lot better. But it still turned out alright, I suppose. It's worth a watch at least, I guess. It's on Netflix right now. I think they're actually working on a second season. I don't know if it's been renewed for a second season yet. Most likely. And even if it hasn't been renewed, I mean, it's a Netflix original, so they can just sort of make it if they want to. What else have I been watching? Like I said, I was watching BoJack Horseman. It's actually a pretty good show. It's about a horse who's like a washed-up actor. Pretty good. Surprisingly good, in fact. Another surprisingly good show that I believe is also a Netflix original is Brickleberry. And I don't think I've ever even seen people talk about that for the most part, whereas I've seen people talk about BoJack Horseman before. And I saw a lot of people talking about Stranger Things before I watched it. So, I mean, there's a lot of good shows out there that you might not think are good shows based on the blurb that they give you and the image associated with it on Netflix. For the longest time, I just assumed that Brickleberry would, be a generic cartoon with nothing special about it. Probably wouldn't even be funny. And then finally, I was just really bored one day, so I gave the first episode a watch, and then I gave all the other episodes a watch. BoJack Horseman is almost the same, except I'd heard really good things about it, unlike Brickleberry, where I'd heard nothing whatsoever about it. And I had tried to watch the first episode before, but couldn't get into it, and recently I decided to try to give it another chance because people said that, you have to watch a few episodes before it sinks in. And I watched a few episodes, and then I watched all the rest of the episodes, and now I'm almost done with the series. It's a pretty good series, actually, overall. Just really good, everything fits together thematically, for the most part. And, there's a lot of character development, there's a lot of serious things, there's a lot of funny things. It's just overall pretty good. Pretty good. I don't really watch animated shows for the most part, despite the fact that I've mentioned 2 animated shows out of the 3 shows that I've mentioned this episode. Usually, I'm watching live-action shows, sitcoms such as Friends or Community or, any of that sort of thing. Or also live-action that are, actually action, or whatever genre. For example, Person of Interest is pretty good, actually. I wish that there was more of that, and I don't know if they're making more. I hope they are, because it's actually a really good show. I kind of don't like where they went at the end. I feel like, they should have kept the formula going instead of trying to change it. But, it was still a good show, even after they changed up the formula a little bit. Made it make less sense, in a way. But, it took less of a worse turn than a show like, Dexter, where after season 5 it was just rapid decline, or even more extreme, Heroes, which took a nosedive after season 1. You know, some shows, they can go a long time and still make it work and still be really good throughout the entire show. For example, Community. Community had a weak spot in the middle, but then came back really strong. Like around it's either like season 3 or 4. Most people agree that, you know, it kind of fell off a little bit. And that was because of like a writer's strike or something happening around that time. But like right after that, it came back and it ended so strong. So strong. Like, I love Community. I actually need to rewatch it soon. I've been thinking about it, and then I keep deciding to watch other things, but I'm gonna rewatch Community soon. What was I talking about? Dexter. Dexter did not... No. No. After, like, season 5, and some people even say, like, after the end of season 4, I think, whichever one has the Trinity Killer. Whenever that season ends, that's when people start saying, like, nah, it was better before. And then the end. I still haven't seen the 8th season, but I know what happens, and it has disappointed me to the point where I'm just not going to watch it. But anyways, that's enough rambling about TV shows coming up on the end of the episode here. So if you guys are enjoying this series, remember to leave a like, leave a comment. If you aren't already subscribed, it really helps me out. I'm at 226 right now, so we just need another 24 to reach my goal of 250. But other than that, I'll see you guys all next time.